What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Sean here with BlueRidgeSilverhound. We have a day later pocket change market report. So this is originally intended to be for the July 19th episode. It is Thursday, July 20th. Wasn't able to get this out until the next day, but we're still keeping up the tradition of using the date for that Wednesday, which is yesterday. So we're going to take a look at activity during this 24-hour time period. We're jam-packed with a lot of coins that folks have resold on the platform eBay. These are coins, ladies and gentlemen, that you could find currently out in the wild. Whether you're a roll hunter, you like going through, your piggy bank, which I know of a few people are doing that right now. And I'm kind of helping them out with that. It's not an easy task because there's a lot to look for, and you could easily miss one of these gems in there. But also keep in mind, you could find a lot of these errors and varieties by cherry picking your local coin shop or show. So we've had quite a few amount of shows, both small and large, over the summer, and people have taken advantage of going to some of these dealers, keeping in mind that coin dealers, sometimes they don't care about a measly repunchment mark, or perhaps that lamination error really doesn't suit their needs. Errors and varieties is kind of a niche market, and that's where a lot of the growth potential is. That's where a lot of newer folks gravitate towards when they first get into the hobby, because it's so fascinating. The human error element of how coins are made are being shown every day, even in brand new 2023 coins. We're seeing that as well. So a few things to kind of keep in mind. We don't talk about graded coins because it costs a lot of money to grade coins. These coins normally would sell for themselves. That's the great news, okay? The collector market really does not care if the coin is in a PCGS or NGC holder. There are insinuating circumstances. This is kind of like that little asterisk fine print. If a coin is known to be this kind of outlandish, funky, rare, scarcity, error, or variety, then it's pretty much a foregone conclusion. And they will buy these coins just the way they are. All right, that's the good news. All right, so save your $30, $40, $50 per submission, and just go ahead and resell it. If that's what your original intent was, just do that. And of course, photography. All the pictures are original to the seller's listings. We didn't juice or doctor any of it to make the coins look better, except maybe crop them up so that way all the images fit on one slide in this deck. So keep that in mind. You're going to get the best and worst images, so you're going to know what that kind of low bar is when you go to sell these things. All right, and we haven't done one of these notifications in quite some time, but we do have a Whatnot stream coming this Friday. I only have 2 for the month of July. The important thing is you guys just need to be there, because we're going to be giving away Morgan dollars, one of which is a brand new 2023 Morgan silver dollar, one of the brand new uncirculated, mintage of only 275,000 pieces. You don't want to miss it. So it's going to be this coming Friday, July 21st, which is tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern, and you guys in the Central and Mountain Time zones, you guys know where you're at there. Of course, I'll have all the requisite links down below in the description box in the event that you want to sign up. You've never been on the platform Whatnot. It's a great platform to buy and sell coins, primarily buying, because there's a little bit of a process to be a seller on this platform. But also, if you sign up under me, you get $15 in store credit that you could use immediately. I'm going to be putting stuff into the store that you could buy right now, and it'll be free. All right, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be sometime today on Thursday when I do that. It's not going to be right after this stream, or this video rather. So would love to see you guys there, and yeah, it's gonna be a big event. All right, I've been off the last 3 weeks from Whatnot, and we're back in a big way. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into these listings. So there is an attempt out in the market to kind of devalue these 2023 Lincoln Shield Cent Extra V coins. Okay, this is kind of like the hottest, newest sensation right now. We saw that Great Collections had sold a graded example of this for over $1,100. A first time, unprecedented sale, showcasing just the power of this variety. However, we have this one singular coin here that was scooped up as a buy it now listing. And I did notice that folks have been selling these as buy it now listings, which means they set a fixed price. You go in, you hit buy it now, add it to your cart, and then you check out normally. It's either one of two things happening. We're seeing a rash of people that don't know what they have, and they're going by the last sold listing and just posting it for that amount. I know that these things have been going down. They've been going up. But where we're going to get a realistic view of what these are selling for are going to be the coins that are being organically bid up through regular auctions. So this particular one right here sold for $35.25. It was actually a $30 buy it now with $5.25 of shipping. But you can see that V anomaly that's right next to the VDB initials. Again, this is proven to be some sort of variety per Mike Diamond. He had done a Coin World article. Annex and NGC are grading it as such. So $35 is very cheap. Either someone got a steal, or like I said, the sellers that are finding these for the first time, they don't know what they have. So really cool example. But I'm a little worried about some of these realized sales, like this one here. The next one that we have is going to be actually a really phenomenal looking one. This is something that is quite dramatic. You don't see this too often, but when you do come across it, ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind, this thing was not put through the ringer. All right, this is a defective planchet, most notably a detached lamination of wild epic proportions, which affects nearly half the coin. Again, very spectacular looking here. The coin has circulated a fair amount, all right? So a lot of people had cast this off as being just an ugly, damaged, unloved coin, until one savvy collector that did a little roll hunt ended up finding this thing and ultimately cashed in to the tune of $65.87 with 28 bids, for crying out loud. A lot of activity surrounding this coin, but you'd be hard-pressed to find another wild lamination like this one that sells for as much money. These are generally $10 coins all day long, for some that are minor. Next coin that we have here, this is actually one that I added to my collection, so this falls within the last 24 hours or that 24-hour window. It's a New Hampshire state quarter. It's off-center by about 40%, maybe 35, 40%. Very wild, dramatic off-center error. Of course, on the Statehood Quarter Series, they are being pursued right now. And I actually scooped this one up as a buy it now for $89.99. And that is the market for these minor types of off-center strikes or misaligned eye strikes. They still sell for $30, $40, but one that is this far off-center, puts it, far above and beyond in the market. All right, so yeah, I'm glad to add this one to my collection, but I thought I'd throw this one in there because it is a confirmed sale. All right, so due to popular demand, we are following up the coin that I talked about the last PCMR. This is another Eisenhower dollar with a sheet clip. You can see it right above the RTY and Liberty there. So a little rim clip. And again, these larger Eisenhower type dollars, with this type of error, make them a lot more rare and valuable than, say, one that's on a Lincoln cent or a nickel. Okay, there's just no comparison. A Lincoln cent with just a shallow clip like this one typically sells for like $5. It's nothing really to write home to mother about. But on an Ike dollar, where with the size and girth of these coins, this one actually ended up at $38.99. Again, just really impressive when I see minor errors like this on these larger coins, and ultimately there are collectors that want them. And that's just great to see in this hobby. So this is a coin that I believe Matthew Valley had picked up because he had talked about this on his Facebook page. He has a Shield Scent page that you guys ought to check out if you haven't done so already. Excuse me. If you haven't done so already, check out his Facebook page, where he talks about some of these varieties and errors. All right, that are brand new, that have come out into the woodwork. And he's a great guy too. He's been collecting these for quite some time. So anytime a new one comes up, you better believe that he's going to be there to try and buy it. All right. But it's one of my favorite Facebook pages. I know a lot of you probably don't do the Facebook thing. I don't do it as much anymore, except for a few of the dedicated coin type pages. But this is a 2019 Lincoln Shield Scent. This one has a pretty nice die crack. And actually, you can see the thickness here at the rim. Some would say that this is a very small cud die break that ends up turning into just a long, thin crack that goes through the two of the date and into the field there under his chin. So very cool. I love these things. They do pop up on earlier generation, like from 2015 to 2020 Lincoln Shields. You could see them, come into the bust and, do all sorts of weird fancy dances with the cracks. And here is yet again another one here. $60.25 was the new, or was the sale price rather. I believe Matthew bought this one because he had talked about it within the last couple days. So, and when he talks about it, I believe it's a new discovery. The person that sold this just, sold it as a die crack. Where it is a little bit more than that to dedicated error collectors of the Shield series. 1929S, not the most prettiest looking buffalo on the planet, but this is indeed a two-feather variety. These are recognized in the Cherry Picker's Guide. They got the missing third feather, which is a byproduct of a over-abraded die. Sorry about that. Jeez, I'm lost already. Over-abraded die. So that's another term for over polishing. All right, so and there are a number of dates that you can look for the two feathers in. All right, this is yet again one here. 1930S, I believe, is another big date, and yeah, they're kind of scattered all about. So this one right here must be a tough one because in this low condition, it's still sold for $78.90. So yeah, there you go. Check out your 29S's. You never know if you're going to find a two-feather. 1984 Lincoln Memorial Scent. This one has a cud die break at the base of Lincoln's bust, which is a very common area for small cuds like this one here. Seems to me that on the actual working dies, this is a weak stress area on there, and that's why we see a lot of these 1980s, early 90s era of Lincoln scents with these cut die breaks. All right, so a piece of the die had fallen out just through attrition, and when it goes to strike up other coins, all that metal flow will pile into that empty cavity on the die, thereby creating a raised anomaly on there. All right, that you could feel that with your finger when you rub it across. This one sold for $32 with 8 bids. Again, cuds are undeniable kings in the error world today, as they are constant sellers and collectors yearn for more of these. Pretty neat one here. Haven't talked about this one in quite some time. 2015 Philly Lincoln Shield Scent. As you can see, Lincolns have been the main source of cherry picking for the last few years. All right, it's easy to see why. As these things are mass produced, the quality control goes through the toilet. This is a really neat variety. This is WDDO number 14, or a really nice double to die. But you can see the stretching of all of these letters and numbers and the date, as you see here. And there is also some minor doubling in the motto, "In God We Trust." So make sure you look at all of these aspects of the coin, and you might have a WDDO number 14. Very nice. And this one is, by the way, sold for $15.50. A very respectable sale for a Shield Scent variety, such as this one. Just a really wild, very nice 1946S Lincoln Wheat Cent. This is a very well-centered broad-struck coin, so there is an absence of the collar, which holds the coin in place during the strike, so that metal flow goes outwards even more. This one sold for $26.99. And here's another one that I haven't showcased in a little while, 2021 Lincoln Shield Cent with the field restricted strike through. That is pretty evident here with that strike through anomaly. So the feeder finger makes contact with the top of the die, thereby causing a little bit of a scrape on there. And usually there's some grease that's being pushed around as well. So each one of these field restricted strike throughs is going to have a different shape and pattern to them. There's no two that are alike. These are kind of like fingerprints, and I think that's the cool, very awesome part about this. So this one sold for only $7.99. I believe it was a buy now listing. So could it have sold for more? Yeah, probably. But $8, still not bad. We got another CUD, very nice one here, 1982 large date bronze. So the CUD is on the motto there, covering we and trust. And the coin, as you could tell, was not immune to circulation. This thing had been through many pockets and change purses and cash registers over the years. This one sold for $12, which was just a huge bargain. As the listing did not really lend itself very well to what this coin is. I think the seller said it was a die crack or something like that. And it turned out it was a lot more than that. So someone bought this for $12. They could very easily today turn around and sell it for $40. All right, using the correct search terminologies for your listing title. That's all it takes. And that's part of the cherry picking part. You could cherry pick eBay for some bangers like this one, and you're like, yep, I just did that. I just scored this coin for about a third of what it normally sells for. So we didn't have much in the way of currency, but this one, I wanted to talk this. This one is spicy. 1988A $5 Fed Reserve note. As you can see on the front, there's nothing really a whole lot to speak of. It looks like a regular, older style small head note, But when we flip that bad boy over, look at that. We have a full 100% front to back wet ink transfer. All right, so there's a little bit of residual ink on the impression cylinder before the sheet was fed. And subsequently, that print ended up on the back, out of all things. I mean, this is just a really cool note, guys. So more than likely, the whole sheet was affected, and not just a singular note, because that would just be crazy to think it would just be one note. This one right here ended up selling for $179.73 with 20 bids. That red stain at the top is a teller mark. So when this was in a pack, they would rub a marker, an anti-counterfeiting kind of like marker across the top just to make sure that, it's the real deal. I think when it turns red or pink, then it's good. All right, so yeah, nothing you can do about that. We see it out on paper money all the time. And generally, it doesn't affect the value too much. But if you went and graded these, and again, you don't have to. It's sold for nearly $180. They probably would notate a stain of some sort. Or teller mark. 1993, this is a, believe it or not, it's a Denver. There is a Denver mint mark there. Lincoln Memorial Cent. It's off-center by about 80%. I mean, really cool coin. But this is a copper-plated zinc. All right, so keep in mind that you're going to have some exposed zinc on this coin. If you're a collector of these, you guys absolutely know the storage requirements surrounding these. No moisture at all. Yeah, pretty cool one here. $59.95 was the sale price for this. And in one of the big shockers of the week, you guys know that I talk about 1999 to 2001 era of Lincoln sets. A lot of people were finding broad strikes, off-center strikes in these mid-sewn bags. All right, they were coming out of the woodwork. And here's yet another one here. That's why, it's a very common date for these. And, 2000 Lincoln with a broad strike that is hammered centered. Man, this thing is like perfectly centered just about. You would think would only sell for about $15-20 like they all have, but this one ended up overachieving a little bit at $61.01 with 41 bids. And again, the appeal is the broad strike is centered. Usually they're not that well centered like this. Well, we have another reason why to look at some of those boring dates of 1970s Lincolns, because there is a number of dates, folks, that you could search through to look for Cud die breaks. Here's yet again another variant of a Cud, similar to that 1982 that we saw a few slides ago, this time on 73D. All right, so this one right here is sold for $90.29 with 13 bids. Seems like there's some oxidation on the front and back of the coin there, as you can see. Maybe a smeared fingerprint of some sort, but it's not carbon spotting or anything. It's just a discoloration of the coin. But overall, man, I mean, these things are hot right now, guys. I wouldn't necessarily put 100% of my search into Cuds and things of that nature, but definitely keep it on the top of your mind that these things are, not to be toyed with. They are a superpower in today's error coin market. Pretty cool one here, but I have my hesitancies because, there are ways that you could photograph rotated die errors. I think this one, not too good in my estimation. Bicentennial Ike, allegedly, clockwise rotated dies by 85, 90 degrees. It's not quite 90. It's close. I would say 85 degrees. So, again, utilizing a 2x2, utilizing a mirror for your photography to illustrate a rotated dies would be a lot better. However, there were a fair number, or actually there wasn't a fair number of people. There was someone that put in one bid for this at $169.99. So that, I guess, if it's the real deal, then that's a heck of a buy right there. Because this is a rarity, and because it's on a bicentennial, which you guys know, I place a lot of extra credence to. It's just a really special date, because of the designs on the coins. So, yeah, if you have time, make sure you flip over every coin, up and down, because there are a number of these floating out there. Well done by the seller to show some graphic arrows to show what a pre-cut is, or a retained die break, on this 1943S Lincoln Steely. So on the reverse there, you can see two die cracks that go into the design. And if you're able to follow it through, and then there's a little displacement, congratulations, that is a pre-cut. So the die at this point had cracked at that point, and it's only going to be a matter of time before the die piece falls out, and it's to create a full-blown raised cut on there. This one sold for $25.50 with 5 bids. So again, these things are like, they have no value until you find stuff like this. Then they have value. It's $25. Yeah, don't throw it away. I believe this is our only lot for the week. Crazy enough, this lot of 9 error coins sold for $205.99. We have a few off-center Lincolns, a blank planchet, a clipped nickel, a clipped Lincoln set. It looks like another clipped Lincoln shield, and then the one center bottom is a strike through. Okay, so this was a massive overpay on this one. All right, I tell you guys, look out for bulk. Look out for bulk, because you can buy it and sell them individually and rake it in. This is not one of those instances. This is a, wow. There's probably, if I had to guess, probably $50 in coins here. Which, unless you want it for your collection, okay, all the more power to you. But, if you're going to flip something like this, don't pay $200 for it. Make sure you're researching your sold listing values on these, and protect the money. Protect your profits. This one right here, it looks like a graded coin, but it wasn't specified as being graded, and this one Looks like it's in a third-party kind of generic holder, which they do sell. 1936 Washington Quarter. Man, this is a big one. This is the FS 101 doubled die obverse. Look at the doubling there on the motto, "In God We Trust." Woo, man. Even coins, ladies and gentlemen, that you could find in your scrap silver bulk lots. I'm telling you, 1930s, 34, 36, 43, 43S, 42. I mean, there's a lot of big dates with these wild doubled dies like this one that you could have paid $5 for, when you bought it at a coin dealer or online. And come to find out, you have a coin that's worth more than that, This one right here ended up selling for $40. So, yeah, pretty good exchange there. Again, very nice wild double to die. So the seller I highlighted on the last PCMR that was selling 2023 Lincoln Cent bankrolls in lots of 3, he's sold out. He's done. All right, so that kind of opens up the door for someone else to come in and take over this burgeoning money-making, thing that's going around right now this year. So just to recap, he was selling 3 rolls. These were 2023 Denvers, okay? Not even that great of a date, but people do buy these and then they just hold on to them. They don't open them or do any of that stuff. So, he was selling them shipped for $20.54. He was profiting $10 a pop, so that's kind of easy money. And he sold out. That's it. Game over for him. So, again, you guys, if you are coming across full bank boxes of these, yeah, you could do a little bit of the dirty work, but man, you could rake it in right now. 1945 Mercury Dime with a nice little rim clip there. Nothing too crazy. Even has a little Blakesley effect that's visible on both sides of the coin. Quite minor, even on a classic, date coin like this. It did sell for $40.70. So there you go. You can find these in your scrap as well. And a very small, a very, very innocent looking coin here. 1994 P Washington Quarter with a cud over the word T in Liberty. This is, again, much like the Lincoln Cents, a weak spot on the die. All right, so you do see a fair amount of these cuds in this area of the Washington Quarter dies during the 80s and 90s. Here's yet again another one. A nice one, too. It actually, clips the top of the T, which still qualifies it as being a full cud because it goes beyond the rim. This one is sold for $16.99 for its size. It's quite minor and was still able to fetch $17. All right, so this is our last piece of currency again. I want you guys to know that these are out there. All right, they're on 2013 notes. That's what they call a inkwell contamination is the official title for this type of error. But if you looked at both sets of serial numbers, what do you see? The bottom left-hand serial numbers look and appear almost black, while the other looks pretty nice and vivid green. So a little bit of the black ink had seeped into the green inkwell in the system there. And when it printed up notes, that bottom left-hand serial number ended up being a just about full black serial number. People do know about this, and they're being collected, and people are paying a fair amount of money for these. These are kind of cool. I like these. So this one right here sold for $206.98. I know you guys are going to ask me, is that too much? No. These things have sold for $100 to $200 since they were first discovered. Pretty cool. Double struck Jefferson nickel. The secondary strike is about 80% off center. It's a 1980p is that, as well. Yeah, this is one of the big kind of errors that people chase all the time. Here's another one here in living color. And it sold for $47.50. Again, yeah, that's kind of like the typical sell range for these. Here's our other extra V Lincoln. So we had one that was scooped up as a buy it now. We have this one that was bid up organically through a number of days. Again, 2023. It's got that funky V at the base of Lincoln's or right there next to VDB, initials, Victor David Brenner. This one right here ended up selling for $97.25 with 8 bids. 8 bids. All right, people are bidding on these. The ones that are coming up as buy it nows, are significantly cheaper. But again, is that a case of these people don't know what they have and they're just replicating what the last sale is? You know, because we had like 3 or 4 of them that sold for $30 buy it now. So kind of wild. But yet this one here that sold in the middle as a regular auction, $97. And there you go, a little bit of close up. Again, it's still up for debate what this is. Mike Diamond kind of threw out that article to help kind of seal the deal on this one, but we'll see. And finally, the coin that kind of got me thinking. I'm like, wow, man, this thing is rough. I know you can't really take a whole lot off of what photos indicate. Call me crazy. This coin looks like it was cleaned. You know, I think because of the irregularity of the color of the coin, plus how washed out the reverse is, and that could all just be a lighting miscue when the photos were taken. Yeah, but this is a bisecting rim-to-rim die crack, one of the more well-known ones. You have lots of displacement on this too. This is a phenomenal one. You don't see too many of these come up in the market too much anymore, but when they do, they make a pretty big impression. This one ended up selling for $105.25, folks. Proving yet again that coins with problems, you know, can be someone else's treasure. And I would be okay with that. Well, that's going to go ahead and wrap things up for this edition of the Pocket Change Market Report. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Hopefully this video gives you a little bit of inspiration to go and do some hunting of your own. All right, which I hope you guys do. If you find anything interesting, just report it back. Come back to this this video or a future one and let me know what you found. All right, so that's going to go ahead and wrap things up. You guys have a phenomenal day. Best of luck in your hunts, and I will see you guys on the next coin video. So long.